Welcome to Sherkawa Horror Stories. Japanese scary stories and urban legends. Watch House.
The high school I attended was a place with an intimidating history, built 120 years ago. The building had been renovated repeatedly, and to even an untrained eye, its warped and twisted form could only be described as bizarre. Despite being a rare single-story structure, it had staircases, one of which stretched oddly upward from the dead-end wall of a hallway, leading straight into the ceiling. There were other strange details too. A music room directly at the entrance, classrooms sealed off with doors embedded in the wall. On the outside, they were ominously boarded up with plywood. But the strangest of all was the existence of something called the Watch House. Since I commuted from far away, I sometimes stayed over at local friends' homes or at a teacher's housing. But one night, when I had nowhere else to stay, I ended up spending the night in the Watch House. At first glance, it looked just like an ordinary house. 1 tatami mat room, an old-fashioned telephone, a tiny kitchen. But that night, I learned firsthand why it was called the Watch House. I wasn't alone. Another friend stayed with me, and we laid out our bedding, laughing like it was a school trip. As we were eating dinner and chatting, the phone suddenly rang. Startled, I picked it up. It was the janitor, who seemed concerned since we were two girls staying there alone. He reminded us not to make too much noise, then just as I was about to hang up, he said,
"Oh, I almost forgot. Make sure you close the curtain on the west-facing window before you sleep."
At the time, I absent-mindedly replied, "Okay," and hung up. But later, thinking about it, it didn't make sense. The cemetery behind the school wasn't even in that direction. Talking it over, my friend casually pulled open the curtain. There it was, a weathered old well, bound with ominous straw ropes for some ritual purpose. The well was hidden away, blocked by the L-shaped school building and the house. No wonder I had never seen it before. But the moment I did, a chill shot down my spine. We muttered things like, "creepy, huh," then huddled together under one futon and fell asleep. I don't know how much time had passed when I woke up, shivering at the chill on my shoulder. My friend was gone. The Watch House had no toilet, so I figured she had gone to borrow the one at the teacher's residence. I waited. She didn't come back. I peeked outside. No sign of her returning from the school building or the housing. Worried, I returned to the room, and almost without thinking, opened the curtain on that window. There she was, in just her underwear, standing by the well. She had her hands at her waist, fumbling with something. At first I thought, oh, she's just trying to relieve herself back there, and was about to close the curtain again. But then, a strange sensation stopped me. I looked again. She wasn't fumbling with her clothes, she was tying a rope around her waist. And now she crouched, fastening a large stone to the end of the rope. My throat locked. I couldn't even scream. Then, from the well, a pale white hand slithered out. It groped blindly, searching, until it gripped one of the straw ropes. My friend's head drooped low, her body limp and unresponsive. The hand, clutching the rope, began pulling, slowly, steadily, dragging the stone closer. I tried to scream. No voice came out. Ah, A-chan is going to be taken away. The moment that thought struck me, the silence was shattered by the shrill ringing of the telephone. The sound jolted me, and I collapsed backward onto the futon. Instantly, the paralysis weighing down my body lifted. Before I knew it, I was barefoot, sprinting outside toward the well. I grabbed my dazed friend and dragged her back to the house. I don't know how long I kept calling her name, but at last she came to her senses and burst into tears. Relieved and terrified, I cried with her. Wanting to call for help, I seized the telephone. And then, both of us fell backward again, onto the futon. Because the phone in my hands wasn't connected at all. It was just the outer shell, no wiring, no inner parts. Empty. Later, I learned the story. Back when the school first opened, students would inexplicably throw themselves into that well, one after another. Attempts were made to fill it in, but the people involved kept dying, one by one. Eventually, they gave up. Instead, they built over it, hiding the well from sight through endless renovations. Still, suicides continued. So, they stationed a man in the watchhouse to keep guard. But that man, too, eventually cast himself into the well. And so, both the well and the house were abandoned. But then, whose voice was it, warning us not to open the curtain? And could it have been the very watchman himself?
There are quite a lot of scary stories about wells in Japan, aren't there? I really wish they had explained the reason why we were told to always keep the curtain closed when staying there. Are there any scary stories about wells in your area too? Please share them in the comments.